Hello everyone, I hope you're having a delightful day. Today is just going to be a chatty get ready with me. I'm going to be using some products I pulled in my Shop My Stash from earlier this month. And on today I thought we could chat a bit about my feelings toward project panning. I've been project panning for 5 years on my channel now, and I am definitely feeling some feelings. So we'll chat about that as we go through. Let's start with this stinking e.l.f. primer. I just haven't been impressed with this, and it's on so many people's favorites lists. It always just makes me wonder, am I just not using it right? I think part of it is that in general, I don't have a lot of problems with my makeup wearing badly. And that seems to be what people like about this, is that it makes your makeup last a super long time. Well, I don't know, since it's not a big problem for me already, I guess maybe that's just where the problem lies. But I want to test it with this foundation today. It's also, even though it is sticky, it's not as sticky as I was expecting. I feel like some people made it sound very, very sticky. It's got some tack, but it's not super, super. For foundation today, I'm going to use this one from Believe Beauty. This is the brand that you find at Dollar General, and it's strangely fantastic. It's very inexpensive, but look at this. It has a nice glass bottle. It's got a nice pump on it, but the formula is beautiful. It's like a satin kind of skin-like finish, but it is a true foundation, not a skin tint. But I don't find it to be heavy, at least not yet. Some of my favorite foundations I feel like are starting to look a little heavy on my aging skin. I'm 36. I feel like we let that set long enough so we can go in with the foundation. I use the shade Ivory. Okay, so let's chat a little bit about the project panning situation. So when I started my channel, I had for a few years at that point, or at least a couple of years, been really into subscription boxes. So I had a ton of little tiny makeup samples to use up. So it made project panning very, I don't want to use the term instant gratification because it wasn't instant, but it definitely went faster than panning full-size products. Also, in all the years previous to that and wearing makeup, I definitely would be one of those people where I had one item and then I would use every single little last crumb of it before I would buy another one. So I just didn't really have a makeup collection. I had a very small little makeup bag. So anyway, suddenly getting all this influx from all these subscription boxes definitely made me feel like I had to focus on using up my products, because that was just the way I had been always. And it did take a long time to use all those up. I mean, I haven't been getting Ipsy or Allure or BoxyCharm or any of the other ones I tried for a long time now. And it took a really long time to finish up all those all the little makeup. Anyway, I have finally reached that point. And in the meantime, my makeup collection has completely changed. I feel like I have been doing more reviews lately, which I admit I love. I love reviewing makeup, but reviewing makeup means buying more makeup, which means more makeup to finish. And for the most part, I have definitely been more into the idea of just rotating my stash. I accidentally pumped too much out, so I'm gonna bring it down my neck, even though I don't think I need to. Look at that. It just looks like my skin, doesn't it? It looks really, really good. And I didn't apply very much, just some. And this up here is a mosquito bite. It's terrible. For concealer, I haven't used this one in quite some time. This is from NYX. This is the Bear With Me concealer, and I use the shade Fair, I think. Or is it Light? Light, not Fair. So at first, I really liked the little pump on this, but I think it pumps out way too much. Like, the amount that it pumps out is enough to, like, pretty much cover your entire face, which is great if you're using it as a foundation, but otherwise I feel like I just waste a lot of this product because it always pumps out so much. But there's no doubt that it is very, very pretty under the eyes. Definitely more of a dewy, hydrating formula than the foundation I'm using, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, let's try out this Covergirl powder. This has been a favorite for a lot of people. I have shade number 120 Fair. I'm going to use the small tapered brush from e.l.f. I find this is a nice size for under eye powder. So yeah, I'm really not sure what to expect here. So you can see the shine. Let's see what happens. Okay, the shine is definitely taken away compared to that eye. You can see all the shine there. Still looks like skin, but especially in my little mirror, it's much more mattified, but it doesn't look crepey. So far, very nice. And so far, from what I can tell, this is a truly matte powder. It doesn't have sparkles. Yeah, so far it's looking like a nice powder. Just gonna put some of that on my chin and the center of my forehead here. For bronzer, I'm gonna use the Milani Silky Matte. This is the second shade, Sun-Kissed. And I'm gonna use the e.l.f. complexion brush. Okay, so what was I saying about my collection? Oh, I've definitely been more into wanting to just rotate my collection versus focusing on one thing and finishing it up, which now that I have a larger collection, it does seem more reasonable to rotate everything. And I admit it gives me a lot of satisfaction to use everything equally. So I just love my Shop My Stash to help me do that. But I have been experiencing some frustration when I'm working on a product and I can't rotate my products like I want, especially if I'm testing something new, then it seems like that goes right out the window. There's definitely still some products that I want to work on and finish in my collection. Like, I feel like I'll always be project panning foundation just because I don't want old foundation in my collection. I'm adding a little bit more bronzer than usual. I'm wanting to really look at the finish and the color. So far it's looking nice. It's adding warmth, but not looking muddy. I think Silky Matte is a really nice name for this bronzer. It is matte, but it's not powdery. Oh, let's quick throw some brow gel in the brows. So this one was gifted to me by Billion Dollar Beauty. Thank you so much to the brand. This is their tinted brow gel, and this is in the shade Taupe. It has kind of a larger wand than I prefer. I don't need a super large wand for my eyebrows because I don't have very big eyebrows. And the one time I tried this already, it was really wet and I kind of made a mistake. So I'm just gonna try and very lightly brush this through. I actually feel like the color of this isn't right for me. It's a little too light and a little too warm. I mean, I think it'll be okay, but this might not stay in my collection. I might give it to someone who has a little lighter brows than me. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna continue testing this one from Tarte, new to my collection. So this is the Maneater Blush and Glow in the shade Buff. So I'm just gonna apply some of that to the back of my hand and pick it up with the brush. Okay, again, what was I saying? Oh yes, I was talking about how there's always gonna be some products in my collection that I'm going to want to project pan, but there's definitely less of those kinds of products than before. Like, I no longer feel like I want to pan blush or highlighter or eyeshadows, if I'm being honest, and a whole lot of other categories either. I don't really want to pan them anymore. Anyway, I always told myself that if it ever became a chore, that I would let myself quit project panning. But I'm really approaching this carefully because I know project panning is a big part of my channel and it's a reason why a lot of you guys are here, and I really don't want to sabotage my channel, but at the same time, I want to have fun. So one thing I know for sure I will keep doing is my Shop My Stashes. I've been considering maybe merging my project pan video into my Shop My Stash. That way I can still talk about the foundations and things that I'm panning, show you progress, but I've been considering lately not having a full-on project pan, just because the few products I still want to pan, I feel like it'd be really boring to talk about because it would only be a few products at a time. I hope that makes sense. I'm definitely going to finish out the year with the project I have going currently. And while the direction I'm leaning right now, oh my goodness, that looks really nice, doesn't it? The direction I'm leaning now feels really right for me and what would make me happy with my makeup collection, but it does make me nervous about my channel, I admit. Because aside from my blush swatching videos, my project pan videos are the most popular. That blush turned out so nice, and I think working with it off the back of my hand is the way to go. I have just put it straight on my face before and buffed it out, but I think it looks a lot better this way to kind of prime the brush with it first. I like that color too. I'm a sucker for neutral blushes. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Revlon Skin Lights highlighter. This is the shade Daybreak Glimmer. I used this yesterday and it was intensely bright, so I'm just going to use a little bit today. Anyway, I would appreciate your guys' feedback in the comments. Would you guys still watch my channel if I wasn't doing an active project pan? I would still keep up on showing you empties, and like I mentioned, still show you what I am project panning in some way or another, probably in the Shop My Stash video. But yeah, I really just don't know if I can keep up with a big project pan anymore. And I admit the idea of not project panning is kind of exciting to me because all these years when talking about my favorite products, I mean, I have like favorite products, but I can't say they're my most used because they're not my most used. I have been instead using most of the products that I'm finishing. I would like to have most used products that are favorites. And I've been kind of getting around that by putting some of my favorite products into project pans so that I can use them the most. Especially with eyeshadow palettes, I would like to be able to just use what I want to use instead of always having a project going. And I don't want to make it sound like I haven't been enjoying my projects because I chose projects because I wanted to do them. That's definitely just been the way I've been feeling lately. Okay, before I move on to eyes and lips, let's do a little bit of setting spray. So this is another product I've been testing. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I tried it once already. I thought it had a very nice sprayer, but a very intense scent as well. But my makeup did look very beautiful all day long. So anyway, we'll do this. Again, very scented. Before I do eyes, I want to do lips. I feel like I want something on my lips. So I'm going to use my Project Pan lip liner. This is from Colourpop. This is the Lippie pencil in a beeper. And I'm going to try not to apply too much because I really want the color of the second lip product I'm going to put on to show. I'm just going to use it as strictly as a liner today. Okay, the lip product is from Fenty. This is new to my collection. So exciting. This is one of the Gloss Bomb Stix in the shade Spice Cold. And I love brownie shades like this. And I love a glossy lipstick too. Isn't that nice? Ooh, I think it's so pretty. So the only drawback to this, okay, I have to mention this, it just makes me laugh. If you, like me, do not like the scent of the original Gloss Bombs, the one that everyone raves about, that kind of peach scent. I like peaches and I like the peach scent usually, but there's something about the scent. I don't like the scent because this smells like that same scent to me. But if I don't let myself think about it, I can tolerate it. But the actual color, the formula, I think it's so beautiful. Very much up my alley. I'm really happy I chose this color. And despite my dislike for the scent, I like it enough that I could see myself eventually getting another one. I really like it. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera real quick and apply some eyeliner to my tight line and maybe a little bit on the bottom line and the bottom eyelashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, I did tight line and then I put a little bit of eyeliner down here a little bit and just kind of barely smudged it out a little bit for the tiniest, little smudgiest little baby wing. Now I'm gonna apply some Milani eyeshadow primer, and the chainsaw is going in the yard. The eyeshadow palette I want to use today is this one from Beauty Bay. This is the 16 pan neutral palette. And I have talked about this palette a lot as just having the most beautiful neutrals, and I still think it's beautiful. I like the neutrals because they're not super cool or they're not super warm. They're actually neutrals, and the mattes have a beautiful silky formula. I think it's better than Colourpop, but just as affordable. So I think it's wonderful. Anyway, my goal with this today is I think I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. I've been really into matte eye looks lately, and I think I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry if that's too boring for you guys, but I've been really feeling them lately. So I am going to start with this huge eyeshadow brush into this shade here called Dusk. And I'm gonna put that above my crease. The perfect color. Now I'm gonna go into the deeper shade next to it called Canyon, slightly deeper shade. I'm gonna use that to sculpt the eye a little bit, the eye socket. So I look straight ahead and then I have to kind of lift up my, my hooded eyes so I can get to that spot that I want right there in the crease. They blend so beautifully. Like I don't feel like I'm overstating how nice these mattes are. Now I'm gonna go into this slightly deeper shade than that one. This one down here is called Sepia. And I've switched to a more flat brush, and I'm gonna put it just on the outer corner. And then gently buffing that towards the center, but still not quite in the center of my lid. Okay, I wiped that off. Again, with the flat brush, I'm gonna pick up the lightest matte called Twig and put that on the inner 2/3 of my eye. And I'm making sure I'm kind of buffing together where the light shade meets the darker shade. Take a small brush and I'm gonna mix together Dusk and Canyon and run that along my lower lash line. That creates just the gentlest little smoked out eye. Now I've wiped this brush off, there's nothing on it, but I'm just gonna quick go over the edges to make sure everything is nice and blended, but I think it is. Everything looks good. Now for mascara, the one I've been testing this month is this one, this new one from Maybelline. This is the Firework, the Lash Sensational Firework. I think that this is probably my second favorite Maybelline mascara so far. I think that my favorite still, I mean, it could change, but at the moment it is still the Sky High. But this one, you know, I tend to always like a mascara more when I'm into it, probably like the 3rd month or so. This one, I've had it open for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I am liking it a lot. Ooh, today it's looking even better than usual, and this is definitely one of those formulas I'm liking more and more the longer the tube is open. Uh-oh, I feel like I went too far. I applied a little too much because now my lashes are starting to clump together. They weren't doing that a second ago. I have a little lash separator. I'm gonna quick try and catch that situation. I don't know if that lash separator helped, but anyway, that's one thing I've been noticing with these Maybelline mascaras that I've been testing is that they look really good for the first few swipes, but if you mess around with it too much, the lashes clump together. So I'm gonna try and do better on this side. Looks mostly good. I'm just gonna try and get this outer edge. Yeah, that's looking very nice. One thing I've been doing lately is I've been using the finishing powder, my Hourglass finishing powder, and I find I'm just obsessed with this, and I don't use that word almost ever. but I find that I cannot do a makeup without this step anymore. So I'm just using this step, this finishing powder right here. That's the shade Diffused Light. And it's meant for just buffing around the edges of your face. So that's what I do with it. Well, not edges, just all over your face is what I mean. And it's like it applies a filter. And all these months that I've had this one for a full year at this point. I've always said I don't really get the hype with those powders, and now I do. It just took me like a year to notice their effect, and now I'm just, wow, I love it. I'm probably gonna get the newer one of this too. I love this so much. All right, let's go see if I can do something with my hair. I'll be right back. All right, I didn't really do anything with it. I just brushed it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you. And please leave your comments, your thoughts down in the comment section about what I might do with my project pan next year. What do you think of my ideas? Do you think people will still watch my channel? Am I sabotaging myself? Also, if you tried any of these products, let us all know what you think. So far, I'm really enjoying that Fenty. Honestly, everything I did today, I'm really enjoying it. Today's tea of the day is a High Mountain light roasted oolong. Man, oolong is one of those things, or if you really start digging, it is one of those super interesting things, how they can change the flavor of it depending at the elevation that it's grown. This particular tea was grown high elevation and then lightly roasted. So it's got that distinctive oolong flavor, but with a little bit of roastiness to it, and it's just wonderful. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again very soon in the next one. Bye.